All right, you guys, first and foremost, we're just going to talk about the Giants and get everything going in the right direction. I have Cowboys blog in the house.
What's up, everybody?
All right. I got Foots, the King, Cowboy Nation TV, doing it live out there.
Yo, what's up? What's up, Law?
All right. And I got Voch Lombardi in the house.
And it's Voch Lombardi. I have no idea what Marcellus Wallace looks like. What's happening, man?
Hold it down. All right. So we got Giants talk today. We got a full entree of information. Well, I say a plate of information about the Giants. Make me want to eat something, right? So we're going to talk about how the Giants was able to beat us twice. They stumped us down. We're going to move all of the biasness out of our minds, and we're just going to focus in on the Giants. I'm going to have Cowboys blog to start it off. What do you think about the Giants collectively? And then we're going to go over some individual players.
Collectively, I think they're still a good team here. They got they have that $100 million defense over there. They still got the star power there on defense. Landon Collins, probably one of the better players there on defense in the secondary. Janoris Jenkins, JPP, and they're just and then they added Dalvin Tomlinson here in the draft, defensive tackle. So they just keep on beefing up that defense. I think that's a strong point led under Steve Spagnuolo. And then of course you have their offense, which I don't know. I think that's their biggest question mark is their offense. The offensive line didn't really address it. Can they protect Eli Manning? He likes to turn the ball over, which is good for us, but they're still competitive. They're still dangerous, So overall, I think they're going to give us a good battle, just like all the other NFC East guys. But I'm hoping that we can avenge our sweep and get those wins back.
No doubt, man. I feel what you're saying. What's your mind? What's your thought track on the Giants?
For me, Joe hit it on the head. Good defense, really good front. Olivier Berney came through last year. I remember when the Eagles tried to buy a team and it just didn't work. And the Giants bought a team and it worked. You know what I mean, Law? So, so and they have a decent secondary because when you think about Collins, year one, Jason Witten exposed him a lot. Like, I've never seen a player make a jump. And I know we'll get into the players, I know just as a whole, but I've never seen a player make a jump coverage-wise like that. And, Bosh, I'm sure you covered Collins when he was at Alabama. But, just defensively, I think that's what it is. Now they've added weapons on offense. Let's see if it all meshes. Let's see if Eli can get them the ball. They have issues on their O-line, so let's see.
No doubt, man. And Voch, man, do a little different with you, man. I want to know your scouting report on the Ingram kid, and also the scouting report on the big plug that Joe talked about. What is it, Dalvin Thompson?
Dalvin Tomlinson.
Tomlinson, like LaDainian Tomlinson. That's how you say his name?
Yeah, Tomlinson.
Yeah. Okay. What's your scouting report on that, and then what's your scouting report consistency on the overall team, Vouch?
Well, thing about Ingram, Evan Ingram, Ole Miss. He's one of those inline wide receivers. Last year was plenty of them. He's not going to do a lot of blocking. He's not a big physical dude that's going to, show up, and help the run game and nothing like that. But he's a wide receiver downfield. I guess he just weighed too much. He's going to be one of those guys Byron Jones is probably going to have to go to war with. I don't see him being too much of an impact day one, but what he can do is he can get in those situations to where he's faster than your linebacker. He's quicker than your safety, so he could probably give you a hard time there, especially with Odell over here, Brandon Marshall over here. It's less pressure on him. He's going to be in a lot of one-on-one situations. He could have a lot of big plays. As far as Dalvin Tomlinson, he's one of those big trash cans full of dirt type of people. Big, heavy dude, solid hands, strong. But as far as looking at him compared to the rest of the D-line, though, Dalvin will fit in. He's more of a rotational depth guy, but it is good, solid depth from Alabama kid. He's one of those Alabama defensive tackles, one of those big, solid, meaty dudes. As far as the Giants as a whole, we've only seen our young phenom quarterback struggle twice, and that was against the Vikings and that's against the New York Giants 2 times. But those are game-breaking defenses, right? But Dak Prescott was a rookie, and he kind of started to figure it out the more the game went on. It's just that we couldn't finish. We couldn't get in the end zone. But both those games were one-possession games. I think the offense has some names on it, but they're not. I don't think their skill is going to live up to the name. Like Brandon Marshall's 30, Odell Beckham, even though he was great, I love Odell Beckham, but he didn't really break the bank against us. The first game he had like 73 yards, no touchdowns. Second game he had a touchdown, but it was like 90 something yards. He never really got past 100 with us. So Rod knows how to shut down Odell and let everybody else eat. I think when it comes down to this season, I think Dak is a little more polished. He's a little more comfortable back there. The first game, Zeke was kind of going through whatever he was going through, but he's figured himself out now. Zeke's going to come back and be a lot more polished. Dak's figured out the whole dead situation. I think we're going to be good with this Giants rivalry going.
No doubt. And before you run on that, also, what is Ingram's situation with the blocking? What is his route tree is consistent of? Do he have a lot in his route tree, or is he one of those one-trick pony type of guys, or is it somebody we really have to worry about?
I really hate the S word when it comes to these athletes, because he can definitely whoop me, but he's kind of soft. When you line him up in line, you can take advantage of him blocking. You better not catch Evan Ingram in there, or else you can really take advantage of him. So 9 times out of 10, they're going to keep him lined out wide. I don't see any in-line stuff with Evan Ingram. As far as routes, though, he's a monster down the seam. Anything going across the middle of the field, he'll take advantage of that man coverage, and he's deceptively fast for that tight end type of build. Zone coverage, you can kind of do what you're going to do, but if you get a linebacker chasing him across the field, he can outrun him. Luckily, we got speed with Jalen Smith and Sean Lee as far as our coverage linebackers, and Byron Jones can run a little bit too.
No doubt. That's some good info right there, fam. All right, Foots, man, what do you got as far as the matchups, man? What are the matchups that we really need to take a look at in order to win this type of situation with the Giants?
Well, if you think about it, we talked about last week, and I think I've seen you make it as well. Me and Joe have talked about it a lot. Is Zeke and using Zeke in different ways, right? So last year they just played a lot of man across the board, and they just brought Landon Collins in the box all game. First game when they stuffed Zeke, he was running against 8-man fronts. Dak didn't really. That was his first game, so he didn't really see the field like he can now. To me, the matchup that I want to take advantage of, and the Cowboys should, is Zeke versus their linebackers. Their linebackers by far is their weakest position group. So you're thinking about Casillas, Goodson, Keenan Robinson, Herzlich. I mean, they're just guys. So I want Zeke on them in space, things like that, screens, more things away from line, because that is one of the few D lines that can play a 4-man front and maybe give our offensive line trouble. Snacks gives, both of our tackles trouble. They switch them around a lot. Then you're thinking about the guy Thomason they just drafted, and then also obviously Olivier Vernon and JPP is always giving us trouble. You know that. So that's a matchup just about our offense versus their defense, how we could take advantage. And then when you think about defensively versus what they're going to try to do, we have to – who is going to abuse Eric Flowers? Because he is looking like a bust. He hasn't been a player to really evolve, more or less, Law. So is it going to be David Irvin? Is it going to be a speed rush guy? What's our boy Benson? Who's going to be the guy to take advantage of Eric Flowers? Because I don't care how many weapons Eli has. If he can't get the ball off, he's in trouble. So those are matchups to watch for.
No doubt. That's some good information there altogether, man. Joe, we was talking off the record we were talking about Spagnolia. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Spagnolia, yeah. She. What do you feel? Do he have Jason Garrett's number? Is that the situation, or is it just about like what Voch said earlier? It's just like a coincidence that they kind of barely won by the skin of their teeth. It wasn't like a dominant game. But is that something like Spagnolia got over Garrett, or is the matchup between coach versus defensive minded type of guy? What do you have in your thoughts about that?
I think it's a mix between him and Linehan, because Linehan's really the one making the offensive play calls and game plan. So, but
excuse me. So it's not Garrett, it's Linehan I think Spagnolia really got.
Yeah, I think it's Linehan and versus Spagnuolo. But the thing is, I think we're going to see a better team here. Obviously, we didn't get to open up the offensive book here with Dak. If it were Romo, obviously you could do the full menu. You have the full menu with Dak. With Dak, and especially week one, we're probably looking at the lunch side menu. Okay, just a few plays, but we still got it done. We were in the game until last possession, like we've been talking about. So for me, I have a lot of confidence in Linehan opening up the playbook here for Prescott, and Prescott's been working hard, digging deep into the playbook. You got to know that. There's no doubt about that. So he's just improving, and he wants to get those wins back. I guarantee Prescott is that kind of competitive guy. He wants to get those wins, and Spagnuolo, I mean, sometimes he has certain teams' numbers, but we got to break that code. We got to get through that enigma and crack it.
And crack it down.
Personally, I think we just got to execute, man. The first game we couldn't run the ball much, but we found success in the passing game. But in the second game, the passing game was horrible. Forced a lot of stuff. Just a lot of stuff was late, but we ran the ball a little bit better. I think as long as we line up and block the front four and just do whatever we do, Janoris Jenkins is not some amazing cornerback.
He's not. That's my thing.
Props to him though, because I don't want to sound like a hater, and I don't want to make excuses. Janoris Jenkins is 2-0 with Dez Bryant last year. Whatever. Janoris still isn't amazing from a skill set standpoint. He's not amazing. He can be beat. If we just execute, beat him, block the guys up front, we'll be just fine. I don't think it's a I got your number game, because both games, like I said earlier, we lost by one
possession games, and all it takes is just 1 second to win the game, right? All right, so we looked at all these players out here, and everybody says out here the Giants defense, they the best thing since sliced bread. But what do you guys think on this kid, the Landon Collins and the other guy, Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie? These guys, man, the secondary out there, where it's come the deepest level as far as safety, and also sliding Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie into he plays the slot and gives Dez the fit, or is it more so Janoris just giving Dez the fit out there?
I've seen Dominique Rodgers.
I can answer this.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, well, Voch, we can tag team, because remember I asked you yesterday about Dez's route. Not yesterday, excuse me. Last week about Dez's route tree, and is there any truth to that? Janoris, I love Janoris coming out of Florida. I mean, not out of Florida. He got kicked out of Florida. He went to that small school. I like Janoris Jenkins. He's a smart, athletic, and he has a good build for a corner. And he has that moxie with him as a corner. That dog, that fight with him. So him saying that Dez is a 3-route guy, while I'm not saying that Dez isn't or is, what I'm saying is what mixed with the way we call plays and what Dez does well, Janoris was able to sit on everything last year. So Tony would have seen what Janoris was doing. Oh, he's jumping a slant. Oh, he's this, that, and that's when Tony hit him with that double move when
Slam
he played the Rams. You remember Voch and Law and Joe?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Dak wasn't that. We couldn't ask for that. Dak was going to protect the ball. Dez wasn't going to get his looks. So now it's going to look like, Dez is locked, this, that, and the third. So I guess I'm kind of answering my own question. Do I think that Janoris could take Dez out of a game? Absolutely not. I think that we aided to that. And it made it, of course, he could talk now because he held him to that number and they won the game. And Dez had that fumble. That's what really killed it. When he fumbled late, you guys remember that play when Janoris punched the ball out? That was the one that was like, So
like I say, man, we not taking nothing from the Giants. Salute to y'all. Yeah, you're 2-0 versus us. But damn it, it's a lot of question marks in there, man. I like the kid Eli Apple, man. He's cool. I think he can kind of be bullied a little bit. He's a little grabby though, but he's a good solid corner, But Dominique Rodgers, I've seen him get abused and torn up. It's just that we got to block better up front, man. That's really where it all starts, man. We got to block better up front. As far as Janoris Jenkins, man, I've seen Dez whoop Janoris Jenkins. Janoris played with the Rams once upon a time, and Dez put hands all over him. It's just that Dez's route tree was open at the time. He's doing less with Dak these days. Dak is a sophomore now. I fully expect the route tree to open up. We got other guys across the field that we can use, man. I don't see. I think the Giants grossly overpaid for him, and that's just my opinion.
Well, yeah, man, that's facts right there. So, like you say, man, salute to him. Hey, Joe. when we talking about the our defense, we got a lot of youth out there. We got the Cheetah Bay, we got the Jordan Lewis, depending on the trial situation, and then we got the Nolan Carrolls of the world, and we have AB Anthony Brown, our version of AB out there. So Brandon Marshall. So we got a situation where it could be a fickle process, because we don't want to see 2015 Brandon Marshall, because he had 1,500 some yards. Last year, Brandon Marshall only had 800. So if you try to pick a guy that's going to be in between, that can get you about like 1,000 yards. Like he could be 1,000 yards, Brandon Marshall. So who's going to be the guy that's going to man up and stop Brandon Marshall when you got number 13 running free around there on the other side, who's going to be demanding double team? So now you got a one-on-one situation with Brandon Marshall. So what is your vision on that? You know,
and that's a really good question. I mean, as far as what we've seen, I think you probably have to go with Anthony Brown, just based on the game film. For the rookies, I'm not sure you want to put a rookie out there. But, I mean, you might need to. You know, it depends on how we're doing here. Hopefully, you will get through camp healthy and everything. But Anthony Brown did an admirable job here. I mean, filling in for Mo, I think he did a better job, especially down the stretch here. Final games of the season, he was a true lockdown guy. So for me, hypothetically, put Anthony Brown on Marshall, you know, or on Odell. I mean, he's that good. I mean, he can play left or right corner, so we'll see. But that's how I feel about it. Anthony Brown, underrated guy, has the results. You know, you got to go with what you've seen here.
Right. I'm just going to, like I said, I'm removing all my biasness out the way. I'm just going to look at the cold hard facts. Anthony Brown, let me say this right here. Anthony Brown, I don't know. I probably have to go back and do my homework and chart every game Anthony Brown played last. You guys let me know what big wide receiver that Anthony Brown covered. What 6'1" and above receiver that Anthony Brown covered? Because from my understanding, was that Brandon's Carr situation? Was that his responsibility to cover the big guy? Correct me if I'm wrong. I had to go back. It was Brandon Carr's role. So now we got a guy, you know, and we all love Nolan Carroll for what he can do as far as playing into the inside. But as far as his outside, he don't turn his head around and all that. So my thing is, my only issue would be, who's going to be the guy that's going to take out the big guy, the bigger receiver? Do we have to flex Byron Jones out to the cornerback, or do we have to just live with what we have? Will these guys show up in big time games like the Jordan Lewis's of the world, the Cheetah Bay? And
there you go. We just drafted a damn Greek god in Chidobe Awuzie. He plays big and physical. Brandon Marshall ain't beating nobody with speed these days.
Okay,
so you're just not gonna show up. You're not going to show up and bully Chidobe Awuzie. As far as Odell Beckham, the scheme is going to stop Odell Beckham. Rob Marinelli is a level 80 wizard. Last year, he played us twice. He didn't have 100 yards in both those games, just a touchdown and one. Mm-hmm. I'm cool with Anthony Brown and safety help for Odell Beckham. I'm cool with Anthony Brown on Brandon Marshall. I'm cool with Byron Jones with Evan Ingram. I'm fine across the board. This Giants offense isn't some algorithm that we just can't figure out. On top of that, like you said earlier, Eric Flowers is garbage, dumpster juice, and the part I love the most about it is that the Giants have faith in him. They're just gonna leave him out there, and the most important part about it is they running back is Paul Perkins.
But before we jump on the running back scene, you forgot about Sterling Shepard.
I don't care about no Sterling Shepard, man, because look, Sterling Shepard had 3 good games. After that, they were like, oh well, NFL. Then we ain't heard nothing from Sterling Shepard since. I don't care about no Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard's out of the mix, right? We don't have to worry about him. We can just put one of our
just based on film. If you really want to make some noise, you put Marshall and Shepard on the outside and put Odell in slot. If you really want to make some noise, but I ain't giving nobody tips on them. But I didn't see the Giants do a bunch of that, but they should.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Foots, man, what you got on that, man?
Odell in the slot, man, because again, it's 100% like Voch just said. There's only one football to go around. You thinking about the left tackle issue with Eric Flowers, Brandon Marshall and Odell Beckham in the same huddle. I don't care what anybody says. I don't think that's going to be a recipe for success. Then you're thinking about how do we match up best? Like you said, Carr last year, physical, he would get physical with the bigger receivers. If it was me, I'm like, Joe, I'm putting Anthony Brown on Brandon Marshall. I'm putting Scandrick, if Scandrick's healthy, the veteran, safety help, and I'm gonna say go play football. And then, like you said, Jordan Lewis and they try to do something with Cheeto over the top, maybe at some safety. Maybe they could rotate at corner if something's getting out of hand. But the way I see it with these young DBs is that they may have some lumps, period. But if it's too many lumps, then we're in trouble. But getting into the league, they're not going to be locked down right away. To show traits of at least, game one, here goes Odell Beckham. So we got to figure it out, is what I'm trying to say. Long story short.
Long story short, man, that's over there to this running back situation, this running back groove. I'm going to start with Joe, and then we're going to work our way all the way down. Pretty much it's going to be Paul Perkins, and then the next guy, I don't know who they're going to have out there. I guess the Shireen Vereen type of guy. Yeah, that kid. And pretty much, who else? Orleans Darkwa?
I like him the most, but they not going
he showed his know what out 2015 on us. But Joe, what do you feel about this Paul Perkins? Is Paul Perkins a bust, or is this Paul Perkins versus probably who's going to be facing Sean Lee out there?
Yeah, pretty much.
I got Sean Lee. you got to put Sean Lee all day on that against a lot of running backs in this league. I mean, he's just good at what he does. He's good at reading, hitting the hole, and I mean, we saw that one game where Sean Lee, he broke Leroy Jordan's record or something like that, right? With like what? Mm-hmm. Tackles or something crazy like that. The running backs are going to go as far as their offensive line, and the offensive line just isn't impressive. They didn't really address it like we've been talking about here. I don't know, man. I don't know where they're going to generate a lot of offensive firepower. Like what is it going to be their strategy? That's my thing. They're not going to open up the passing game through their running. That. So,
DJ Fluker.
Yeah. So we want to see Eli throw the ball more. I mean, he's going to throw interceptions and turn the ball over. And if we can get the pressure from the middle, Eli can't take that pressure from the middle. Willie Collins. I mean, I don't see the running game getting anywhere with these guys. They don't have a workhorse.
So Joe, you telling me there's like down in AT&T Stadium, first play, empty back. They're gonna do a lot of empty back, 5 wides. They're not even going to try to get into running back formation, especially not an I formation, power sweeps, or power strong formation, because they just not going to be that formidable or that in that type of mindset of saying we're going to run this ball down the Cowboys' throat. They're going to come out soft, basically.
Gangster, that's the word. They're not going to be gangsters about it.
There it is. Y'all got to help me.
You know what? That's going to play right into Dallas's scheme. That's going to play into our scheme because that, like Joe said, before you know it, Eli going to start turning that ball over, yo. Trust me.
Mm-hmm. Well, since I got the spotlight on you, man, break me down your opinion on Paul Perkins, Shane Vereen, or Vereen Shireen, however you say his name, and I murdered that man's name, and Orleans Darkwa.
All guys, I hate to say it. You think of the Giants, when the Giants were going on Super Bowl runs, they were running the football, this, that, and the third. With those receivers out there, they're not going to, be disciplined and really want to run the football. It's Marshall, it's Odell. They're going to try to go out there, and Eli's going to try to beat you with his arm every game, to me.
And then, if Eli try to beat you with his arm, it's going to be,
let's do it.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Weirdo, Law. Who's going to be in his into the huddle to every down?
Man, this video gonna get flagged with trolls talking about, man, we just all sipping the Kool-Aid. Voch, man, lay down the law, man. Let me know, man, what's about these
Giants
fans.
Giants fans don't want Eli Manning throwing the ball 50 times a game. So they're gonna have to try to present some type of run game, but after the first quarter, you're gonna realize it's non-existent. And that's when we got you. You know what I'm saying? Now, last year, they did try to feature Paul Perkins. In my opinion, Orleans Darkwa is he's the best runner. Paul Perkins should be the change of pace guy. Shane Vereen should be the pass catcher. But the Giants don't do things the right way. They're trying to feature Paul Perkins for some reason. I don't think that's a good idea. They might as well go ahead and draft the guy, but they haven't. They don't have the offensive line built to run the ball. They don't have the offensive line built to pass the ball neither, but that's not my business. So as far as the run game goes, they're gonna have to try to establish it. It's not like they got a tight end that can go out there and run block neither. So I think the identity of the New York Giants is they're gonna try to be this 5 wide team, this brand new spread type of deal, and they're gonna try to get Eli Manning a bunch of touches. Not because they want to, but that's what they're gonna have to do. And Eli throw the ball 50 times on with it.
So you mean to tell me they got this Ferrari with a jacked up clutch and a drunk driver behind the wheels as Eli?
Eli Manning can throw the ball to Brandon Marshall, Odell, Ingram, and us. He's gonna throw that thing to us a bunch. I'm with it.
Yep.
Hey man, we pretty much dropped down on everything on that offense, man. We talked about the running back, we talked about the O-line, we talked about the tight end. We don't know. I ain't heard nobody talk about the second tight end on their team. And then we talked about the
Why would we?
Why would we? Right? Who is the guy?
Will Ty.
Will Ty. Mo Ty.
Will Ty.
Yeah,
Will Ty. Will Ty. So yeah, we not. He's not a threat. So that's their offense all in a nutshell. So what about the? All right, cool. We got the special teams. We got the Dwayne Harris. You know, the traitor. What you feel about that, Joe? Man, what about Dwayne Harris? Is he a threat or he's Lucky Whitehead?
He's not a threat. I just wish he would fumble him off the ball like he did with us. He doesn't do it in New York. I don't know why, but I don't care for him. I don't think he's a big threat. I think he's past his prime already. But I mean, he moves around a lot, but doesn't get a lot of yardage. So it could be like a Lucky Whitehead, especially at his age right now.
Hey, before we go a little bit further, they got Geno Smith, man. You better watch out.
Even better.
That can't be good.
Even better. They just drafted a guy too from California, a cat named Davis Webb. He basically plays like Eli Manning plays now, but just with a little bit of a deep ball. So I'm not worried about him.
All right. So anybody?
Yeah, I remember. I like Davis Webb coming out.
Yeah, he cool. Just whatever.
What about the linebacking core? Now they linebackers that Calais, I can't say his name, and Casillas, man. I'm horrible at pronunciations. Casillas and the JT Thomas. That guy, he flies out to the ball. I like his temperament out there on the field. What are you guys' scouting report on their linebackers versus our running backs / fullbacks and tight end?
That's why
I think take that first.
We have an advantage.
It's just gonna sound like we hating because when you talk about the offense, then you talk about the linebackers. It sounds like we sipping the Kool-Aid. The conversation gonna get different when we go to D line and DBs. You see what I'm saying? So right. As far as linebackers, it's really not a threat to them neither. How they play defense is they want 2 trash cans full of dirt in the middle. They want these athletic ends on the outside, and they want speed at linebacker. For some reason, the Giants don't draft linebackers. They don't draft linebackers and offensive linemen for whatever reason. So they're stuck in this linebacker purgatory type of situation. They don't have good, solid talent there. But they can line up and play because that defensive line is so good. But like I said, when you block the first level, everything else on the second level is going to work itself out. I'm not worried about these linebackers. I'm ready for the next conversation.
You're not worried about a Kennard of the world, JT Thomas. I don't know. They'll fly into like you said. I guess they got their speed because they can fly to the ball because of the fact that the defensive line. I see what you're saying, but that is the weakest point on their defense, right? The linebacking core. So the best linebacker on that team is Landon Collins. Wow.
Yep.
Wow, that's deep.
Listen, I put it to you like this, Law. For them to have Landon Collins on the board and pass on him, I mean, not Landon Collins, Reuben Foster. Because if you remember in the draft, he fell. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, okay, he's for sure going to the Giants. Because the NFC East pretty much, to me, drafted for Dallas. Like, you see the Skins, they drafted Jonathan Allen.
Mm-hmm.
That's for Zeke. They, the Philly drafted a D lineman as well.
Derek Barnett.
First round especially. And then I'm thinking that the Giants for sure were gonna draft Reuben Foster. Instead they like Voch said, Evan Ingram. Basically they drafted another receiver. Because that's what Ingram is. He's not he won't develop because that's just not his game. That's not what makes him special. So, Zeke Zeke and Switz, this is where Switz will come in, because if they try to run their base, we'll just pull those linebackers away from the line, and then they'll be in trouble. Like, that's where that's going to have to come into play. Like, it's going to have to come in. We need them mismatches. Okay, if you got these slow, because his can't cover. He's a banger. Mark Kerslake really can't cover either. Like, none of their linebackers can cover.
What about Kennard?
In this space trying to cover. You know what I mean, Lo?
Mm-hmm.
I want them trying to cover.
You want the linebackers out there to try to cover, to follow the Cole Beasleys of the world when you get into the slot. And if we have the Switzer out there, it's just going to be nightmares for them with that. And then you got possibly the young Zeke, the freak out there, just wreaking havoc out there with the linebacker if he can get to the second level. Yeah, I can see that.
Mark my words,
Exactly.
from a coach's standpoint. If I had the game plan against the Giants, what I would do is I would line up in a formation, no huddle, then I would spread it out so I can keep their personnel on the field. You know what I mean? I don't want to line up 4 wide and they line up and dime to match that. I want to line up close, get those linebackers on the field, no huddle to cut their substitution, then line our guys up wide, because Jason Witten can play wide. Zeke can go from the backfield and play wide. I would line those guys up tight. Then I would transition to the no huddle, keep their personnel out there, then eat them up on the inside. That's just what I would do.
Yes, indeed. Joe, what you got?
I agree with Voch totally, man. I wish that was something that they would actually implement more. You know, the no huddle, the hurry up, some more up tempo. I think you hit it right on the head. You know, I mean, you can tire out those big bodies that they have up there plugging up the middle, and let Zeke go to town with our big guys up front. I mean, towards the end of the game, these guys are going to be beat with their hands on their hips, and you know, we can close it out. But yeah, the linebackers, I'm not really impressed with them. I think Beasley and Switz, if they integrate him, they can do some damage there, and you know, open up a deep pass and burn them either with you know, Bryant or Terrence Williams. So I'm pretty confident, man. I'm pretty confident that we're gonna get it done. Excuse me.
No doubt. So Fritz, when we were talking about the linebacking core, like Voch said, we might as well go ahead and skip that and jump back over to the defensive back. So who's the matchup with Landon Collins? Who's going to be that matchup there?
Well, so with Landon, like I said, his year one, Jason Witten abused him. Until his third year, I've just never. I can't remember a time that I've ever seen a safety make that jump in coverage in a year. You know what I mean, Law?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think, and just what I've told you guys from yesterday, from last show, I definitely think that in coverage he could. I'm not gonna say he could erase Witten, but he can definitely match up with Witten in coverage. Now, if you do some things like, you know, Voch was saying, maybe if we show 4 wide, then they will go down. It's straight. I'm cool with that, because I still would like our matchups with one of those safeties having to check our receivers, especially our quick, speedy receivers. They use him down in the box. Like, he's a safety that will come up and make a tackle on Zeke. Mm-hmm. You know, he's a safety. Now, I forget the other. They got. I forget their other safety.
You talking about Darian Thompson played for Boise State last year.
Oh yeah,
Darian Thompson. He had a bunch of interceptions. Maybe they might try to do some things with him as safety back there. Yes. You know, Collins, they move him all around. Like, he had he caused fumbles last year. They got Dookie and Nacho. He used to play with the Skins. Depth chart now. And I don't even know who's gonna pair up. Raheem Moore could probably pair up with Collins and kind of be that free guy. But they use Collins all over the field to make tackles, come down in the box, and like I said, he's their best linebacker. He's their playmaker to me.
So technically, if we got somebody to take the top off the defense, then the Giants are in trouble, right? Because if we got him down, cheating down into the box, because quote unquote, like what Voch said that pretty much so that Collins is their quote unquote linebacker, basically.
I remember when Landon was coming out in Alabama, he was gonna be like one of those top 5, top 8 picks or whatever, but then he fell in the draft because he couldn't cover, right? But then all of a sudden, just like Foot said, I've never seen that much improvement. I agree, because I remember looking at Landon Collins telling people, "Hey man, I don't know what they see top 5 player wise, but that dude ain't gonna, he's not gonna be a top 5 player." And sure enough, he fell in the draft, but that dude developed. So, but what I think is he makes a lot of his money covering these big physical tight ends. You know what I'm saying? Like he can lock down a Gronk type of guy. He can lock down a Jimmy Graham, Jordan Reed. Where I think we're gonna have to end up whooping up on Landon. We talked about this in the last show.
Oh, there you go.
We have to take Witten off the field.
There y'all go, man.
If Landon go cover Switz, or if he go cover Cole, that quickness gonna eat him up. You know what I'm saying? Landon is fast. He's big guy fast. He's physical, but he ain't quick like that. He ain't built to cover a guy like Switz or a guy like Bees. They'll eat him up. So we might have to take Jason Witten off the field or line him up at running back or something. But Landon, man, Landon is built to eat up Jason Witten these days. He's built for that.
That sounds like the truth, man. He's spoken word right there, fam. So just like when I looked at the Philadelphia Eagles when they put Malcolm Jenkins out there on Cole, and Cole like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, lunchtime, So that's gonna be the same scenario, I guess, with Landon Collins. If he's on Cole, or if he's on he got a body up like with the Rico Gathers. If Rico Gathers can get that playbook under control, then man, you guys, we looking good.
I think he'll shut down Rico Gathers too, because Rico doesn't really have the route running polished down yet. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have the tricks Jason have. Jason can still trick his way open. You just got to time him right. You know what I mean? But I don't think Rico necessarily has that. So he would have to rely on being an athlete, and Landon Collins is that. He's an athlete.
Sound like a plan, man. So we went over everything from top to bottom on these both, pretty much on the Giants team. Anything else you guys want to bring in, like extra flavor to what we need to do in order to win? And we know, like everybody out there in the universe, we know that this is just only off-season talk. We don't know what's going to transpire within the next few weeks and months. So we just talking about our opinion. So don't think that we trying to say that the Cowboys going to do this or the Giants going to be slow in this way, but we kind of just insights and our knowledge of what we think that's going to happen. And truth be told, it looks like we are on the money, man. We look like we got a team that's formidable out there. We dominant. We're going to be able to run on them as well. I saw that when I looked at the game, when they was doing the reverse sweeps and things like that, they didn't have that the second game. I think they picked up the reverse sweep with the Lucky Whitehead to spread to make the defense play honest, I guess. And if you look back at the Vikings game, that reverse sweep, although Lucky fumbled the ball, it kind of relaxed everybody on the defense and spread everybody out. And I believe that game that when we played the Giants the second time, Lucky Whitehead was suspended or something like that, and he didn't play. So the defense was able to be more compressed, be more uptight. So I think that this coming opening week, either it's going to be depending on what Lucky Whitehead do during training camp and off season, whatever preseason, if he's on the team. If not, then there'll be Cole Beasley or Swisser's role in doing that reverse sweep to open up the defense and have the defense playing honest. And once you get this defense open up, I think that Dak Prescott will be able to pick them apart.
Don't let the media make up your mind for you. Do your own homework. When you in math class and you show up with the answers, you don't get credit. You got to show work. Go watch the film for yourself. Olivier Vernon is overrated. And a lot of y'all about to call me hating, but he's overrated and he's overpaid. Because this is what happens, right? When I watch film, right, I tell people all the time, especially when you watch an offensive lineman, watch all the plays. Watch 69 plays, not 6 to 9 plays. When you watch the highlights, Olivier Vernon may get Tyron Smith 3 or 4 times. But, man, Tyron done whooped Olivier Vernon 54 other plays, man. Okay? So there comes this narrative that, well, Olivier Vernon he's the big thing here. He's going to be the one to neutralize Tyron Smith. No, Olivier Vernon, he's cool. He gets a couple plays. He had like 8 sacks last year, something like that. But because of that Dolphins game that he got to Tyron a couple times, the Giants went to go grossly overpay him and say, hey, we need that dude to go ahead over Tyron Smith every down. And they overpaid that dude. Don't think that going into this game that Olivier Vernon is about to be the big X factor up in here. I feel more comfortable saying the inside, how is Jonathan Cooper going to handle stuff on the inside? I feel more comfortable with that matchup. Don't come in here thinking that Olivier Vernon is just this world beater that Tyron Smith can't beat. Yes, I'm talking to you, internet.
What about JPP? That's fire right there, Voch. But what about JPP? What's your story on him?
I love JPP, but if he was up against Doug Free, I'd have more of a problem. Lael Collins is a gangster. He's young, he's athletic, he's strong, he's nasty. He brings a lot of ass whoop. It's on my shirt right here, man. He brings a lot of ass whoop. You know what I'm saying? I like JPP, but he's getting a little older now. He's still a solid player. He's getting a little older. Lael Collins is right up in his prime. He's getting there, and I think Lael Collins he's grown. And have you seen him on the Cowboys website lately? The man has NFL strength and conditioning, bro. You know what I mean? So if you thought Lael Collins was a beast 2 years ago, that rookie season when he was a young 19-year-old kid, imagine how this big 22-year-old monster is going to do against JPP right now. I like JPP too, man, but let's not overhype this thing. It's really it comes down to the one tech inside. It comes down to snacks, moving stuff along the inside. And I think once we regulate that, everything's going to be cool.
Okay, that sounds deep, man. That sounds deep.
Ooh,
all right. That brother bringing the thunder, man, from down under over there down in Houston. Hey, Foots, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. The Giants win because, or the Cowboys win because, game 1?
The Giants win because, that's a great question.
You should have asked me that question.
Dallas, let's go Dallas.
We could jump back to you then.
Let's start with Dallas. Dallas wins because they are one step ahead of the Giants play calling wise. Because Dallas doesn't make in-game adjustments. Short and sweet. So
Short
meaning that if we get into a situation where Spags is designing these blitzes, he's playing a lot of man, he's making Dak get the ball out quick, they're coming up, they're making tackles, because they will come up and tackle. And Jason or Scott don't make an in-game adjustments, which I have criticized them for, Law. If they don't do that, Dallas will lose this game. If Dallas we know when Dallas is in a rhythm, when they're calling screens, when they're calling jet sweeps, when we're doing things defensively to switch it up, when we run those inside blitzes with Sean Lee, when he goes and he crushes a guard and then another linebacker, Durant, would come off the blitz. Like that, Law, we win this game.
Man, that's fire, man. Joe, Cowboys score 31 because, or the Giants scores 20 points because.
The Cowboys scored 31 points. That was at the first part. I didn't catch it.
Yeah. The Cowboys scored 31 points because, not saying they win or lose, but the Cowboys scored 31 points because, and I'm just going to throw a number out there. I think the Giants have yet to allow somebody to score over 21 points. And I think off the top of my head last year. And the Giants scored 20 points because,
Yeah, so I think the Cowboys scored 31 points because they're able to move the ball. All right. So these last couple games, the points, we hadn't scored that many points against the Giants. But I think we're going to be able to move the ball here more. With the passing game, opening it up here, like I said, with Linehan and Dak Prescott just being a student of the game that he's already shown to be, he's gonna dissect it. All right, so we're talking about like we talked about Olivier Vernon, JPP, Landon Collins. He's gonna know where to get the ball. He's gonna find the soft spots, integrate Ryan Switzer into the passing game, get Zeke into the passing game. You put Zeke in there in the passing game. These guys at the second level, they don't want to tackle that guy. He's going to, get to the second level, get through. I mean, put him against Landon Collins. That's a good. I want to see that. I want to see that hit, that collision. We saw what he did with Earl Thomas in the preseason. That's one of the best.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so 31 points. I think they open up the passing game. They're kicking on all cylinders, and we're shutting down their defensive line with our offensive line.
And why in the world did Giants get 20 points on us? How is that happening?
The Giants scored 20 points on us because
they don't.
them trolls coming for you, man.
Let them fly, man.
Let them fly to play.
I think they scored 20 points because the Cowboys are still trying to figure out their way here, possibly in the secondary. We might be a little bit younger back there.
Good answer, Joe.
That's the only way I can see them scoring 20 points. But honestly, man, I think we got rid of a lot of liabilities on this team. Doug Free via retirement, Mo Claiborne, and Brandon Carr. So overall, man, I think the Giants are they're gonna have to figure things out just like we're figuring them out. I mean, they don't have Brandon Carr to pick on. They don't have Mo Claiborne to pick on. Who are they gonna go after? You know what I mean? How much are we gonna show in the preseason? That kind of thing. So I feel confident about the team, man. I just really do. Not to be a homer, but I just think this team is on the right path, draft wise, personnel wise, and feel good about it.
10-4, man. That's good stuff, fam. All right, so Voch, man, why does Eli Manning outperform Dak Prescott this game one, or why does Dak Prescott outperform Eli?
Shucks, man. The answer to the first one is that there's no way in the world Eli will outperform Dak Prescott. But if I had to give you an answer, Eli will outperform Dak Prescott is if the Cowboys defense can't find its continuity early. If we'll probably figure things out later in the game. We tend to be a second half team sometimes. But if Eli can get out to a hot start, if they can take advantage of mismatches and things like that, I guess in the first game, David Irvin's out for 4 games. So if you can find time and, block us up front, I guess Eli can come out and outperform Dak Prescott. But what I think is going to happen is, because I think Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in the East. You can sue me on that. But Dak Prescott is going to come out. He's going to protect the football. He's going to do surgery. He's going to hand the ball off to Zeke, manipulate play action all game. We saw in the Green Bay game, he's finally getting his chemistry with Dez right. I see that going off without a hitch. Hey, man, I can give you many reasons why Dak Prescott will be better than Manning, but the only way I can think of Manning being better than Dak is that we just got to lay an egg, bro. And that sounds like I'm being a homer, but the Cowboys are the better team. And you can take that for whatever you want to, but we are the better. We have better A1 players than they. We have more A1 players than they do. And as long as the Cowboys line up and execute, and it's to answer all y'all questions, your questions, the ones you gave Foots. As long as we line up and execute, we'll score 30 points. We'll beat the Giants. We'll be better than Eli. As long as we line up and execute. If we go out and lay an egg, then they'll do what they do.
No doubt, man. That's good stuff, man. That's flavor from everyone right there. We're going to wrap it up. Foots, man, if we're going to wrap this thing up, tell me where they can find you at, man. It was a good conversation altogether, guys, and I really appreciate everybody in the comment sections. Make your comments, and everybody support the channel. Sub and subscribe to everybody. But Foots, where we can find you at?
Hey, once again, man, Cowboys Nation TV. Follow me, Foots the King, on Twitter and Instagram. It's the slow period right now. Me and Joe have been talking, and Law, I appreciate all the work you do. Voch, I tune in for your live deal. So I'm a fan of everybody on this panel. Like I said, it's slow right now. I'm catching myself watching Summer League games, Law. I'll go to your page and watch some of the games and just and watch your content. But it's slow right now, Cowboys fans. So bear with us. But catch me at those places, y'all. Foots the King and Cowboys Nation TV on YouTube.
All right. There you go. Hey, who should we hit up next week, man, to talk about?
Skins.
Skin
week next week. All right, Joe, man, where can we find you at?
So you can find me on YouTube as well. Just look up Cowboys blog. Should come up there at the top there. Also on Instagram and Twitter, it's going to be at Cowboys Blog Net. So you can find me there, and we're trying to ramp up here. Took last week off, coming back this week and trying to give y'all all the fans here daily videos.
Yes, indeed, man. That's good flavor, man. So they're gonna definitely look you up. And my brother from another mother, no other, man. Where we can find you at?
And it's Voch Lombardi, your side chick's favorite draft analyst, man. You can find me on YouTube at Voch Lombardi. I break down all of the college film. We're currently on the 2018 class. I saw this one kid from Boston College, this one defensive end, Harold Landry. He was mocked to the Cowboys. I did a little film session on him. You can go watch that. The Luke Falk video dropped today. Follow me on Twitter. Everything's Voch Lombardi. VOCHLOMBARDI. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff. Also, join my Facebook group, Lombardi's Draft Talk. Lombardi's Draft Talk. There's about 2,500 people in there disagreeing about nothing. Come see me, man. Get one of these shirts, man. Speed, strength, ass whoop, dog, is on my Twitter, man.
Yes, indeed, man. That's a good plug there, man. Hey, fam. So since we're gonna do skins next week, who's gonna be the lookout guy? Who's got the speed, strength, and ass whoop on the skin side? You know, who's that? Do we need to take who we need to do our homework on?
The Redskins just drafted a guy named Samaj P. Ryan from Oklahoma. He actually shared snaps with Joe Mixon, and he kept the yardage close. Like, he was one of those top cats. I think one game he ran for like 300, 400 yards or something like that. Some crazy NCAA rushing record. He's at running back now, Samaj P. Ryan. Also, man, Brandon Scherf is finally coming into his own at guard, so he may be one of those top guys to look out for next. And hey, man, they got the Redskins, man. Saddens my heart to say it. I shared about 3 or 4 or 5 tears when they drafted Jonathan Allen from Alabama, man. He's definitely gonna be instrumental in trying to shut down this Cowboys run game. Now, year one, I expect Zach Martin to take his lunch money and eat him alive. But moving forward, man, Jonathan Allen with that strength, with that size, with that technique, man, Jonathan Allen's gonna be somebody that we're gonna be pissed off at for the next decade.
No doubt. We're going to do our homework on him. That's been our time, guys. I really thank everybody for tuning in to the Law Nations Roundtable, and those who are participating too as well. And remember, you guys are listening to nothing but the best. Salute.
Peace.
Man, so you guys all did your homework on the Giants.
I'm locked in for the Giants.
You locked in? So we're going to get this show on the road. We're going to get this thing started. We're going to get everything going. I'm going to do the intro.
Nothing but the best.
And remember, you're listening to the round table. All right, guys.
You got to improve your voice, Law. Put some insurance on there.
I hope so.
What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, Foot?
Y'all about ready, fam?
I will say before you get started, we should have a name that's not generic like Roundtable, though. We should have a name that's like standoutish. If we're gonna be our own thing going forward, we should be thinking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I tried to add word to Roundtable and see what'll come up, and they actually rejected the damn Roundtable.
What tarnation? So yeah, man, we gotta figure something out.
We gotta figure out another name because they thought we were talking about porn. You know.
No.
I'm for real, man. Real talk. Google rejected the round table when I tried to add word. Google add word. So what name y'all can come up with?
I'm about to Google.
Joe, you had some good ones. Joe, when we was thinking of the huddle, what you think?
I don't know, man. Come up with a few.
Okay.
This is serious.
Serious, that's right.
Gotta get my hat,
I'm
man.
gonna do,